Jared Goff was ranked as the 21st best college football recruit in the 2013 college football recruiting class, so where are the 20 quarterback recruits ranked higher than him now? Well, to start, just in front of him at number 20 was Mitchell Trubisky, coming out of Mentor, Ohio, who committed to play for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And he redshirted his first season at UNC before not seeing much playing time in 2014 or 2015. Then in 2016, he broke out as a superstar, throwing for over 3,700 passing yards and 30 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. And this allowed him to be selected second overall in the 2017 NFL Draft by the Chicago Bears. And in his time with the Bears, he had his ups and downs, as he actually made a Pro Bowl, but was overall a bust with them, and has mostly become a backup quarterback now, bouncing around many different teams, and is currently playing for the Buffalo Bills. And at number 19 is Anthony Jennings, coming out of Marietta, Georgia, who committed to play for LSU. And he actually got to play in his true freshman season for the Tigers, but didn't do very much before having a solid season in 2014. Following his 2 seasons, though, with the Tigers, he transferred to play for the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, where in 2016 he wasn't very good, and that would be his last season of college football. And he's now currently a general manager at the Juicy Crab Incorporation. And coming in at number 18 is Damian Terry, coming out of Erie, Pennsylvania, who committed to play for Michigan State. And he redshirted his true freshman season at Michigan State before being their backup quarterback for the next 4 seasons and not really seeing much playing time, only ever throwing 1 touchdown in his entire career. And he's now currently working as a defensive intern for Cornell University. And at number 17 is Ryan Burns, coming out of Ashburn, Virginia, who committed to play for Stanford. And he also redshirted his true freshman season before not really seeing much playing time there over the next 4 seasons, mostly being their backup quarterback, only ever throwing 1,221 passing yards in his career. And he's now currently a football coach for San Rafael High School and is a senior UX designer for Truist. And at number 16 is Cole Stewart, coming out of Houston, Texas, who committed to play for Texas A&M. And he committed to play baseball and football for the Aggies, but he completely skipped college to go on to be selected 4th overall in the 2013 MLB draft by the Minnesota Twins. And he stuck with baseball the rest of his career and was solid at times, but never amazing, last playing with the Kansas City Royals in 2013. And just cracking the top 15 is Jeremy Johnson, coming out of Montgomery, Alabama, who committed to play for the Auburn Tigers. And at times with Auburn, he got to start, but overall in his 4-year career, he was kind of a bust, only throwing 11 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And following this, he decided to go play professional football in Mexico, where he's actually been a very good player, even winning the Mexican MVP. And at number 14 is Malik Zaire, coming out of Dayton, Ohio, who committed to play for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And he redshirted his true freshman season in Notre Dame before the next 3 seasons mostly being a backup quarterback. After this, he transferred to Florida in 17, where he'd also be a backup quarterback and never made an NFL roster, and is now currently the chairman of the board for the Zaire family office. And coming in at number 13 is Joshua Dobbs, coming out of Alpharetta, Georgia, who committed to play for the Tennessee Volunteers. And in his first 2 seasons at Tennessee, he didn't do very much, but in 2015, he began to break out as a superstar. But then in 2016, Joshua Dobbs dominated the SEC, throwing 27 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions, and also having 12 rushing touchdowns with 831 rushing yards. And this allowed him to be selected in the 4th round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And overall in the NFL, he's mostly been a backup, but has had times where he's got to start. And this season, he was currently the 49ers backup. And at number 12 is Aaron Bailey, coming out of Illinois, who committed to play for Illinois. And in his 2 seasons at the University of Illinois, he was a complete bust, never really seeing any playing time, and was a backup. He then transferred in 2015 to Northern Iowa University, but never did anything there and was a complete bust. And coming in at number 11 is Hayden Reddick, coming out of Los Angeles, California, who committed to play for the LSU Tigers. And in his 2 seasons with the Tigers, he saw absolutely no playing time, so in 2014, he transferred to play for Rutgers. And in his first season with Rutgers, he'd be their backup quarterback, throwing 2 touchdowns. And after this, he grew upset and transferred to Tennessee Tech in 2017. He never played there, though, and is currently construction manager in Pasadena, California. And at number 9 is Asante Woolard, coming out of Winter Park, Florida, who committed to play for UCLA. And at UCLA, he saw absolutely no playing time, so in 2017, he transferred to play for Clarion, where he also didn't play at all. And he was a complete bust, and he's now currently a growth consultant for Aloha Group. And at number 8 is Cody Thomas, coming out of Colleyville, Texas, who committed to play for Oklahoma. And he saw no playing time in 2013 before actually getting to see some playing time in 2014 and 2015. Sadly, though, he was a backup and was being replaced by Baker Mayfield, so he decided to enter the MLB draft, where he'd be selected in the 13th round. And since this, he hasn't done much in his baseball career and is currently playing in the Nippon Professional League for the Oryx Buffaloes. And coming in at number 7 is Bryce Ramsey, coming out of Georgia, who committed to play for the Bulldogs. And he redshirted in 2013 before being their backup quarterback for the next 4 seasons and not really doing much in his career. And he's now currently a business development manager for Empower Solutions Group. And coming in at number 6 is Troy Williams, coming out of Harbor City, California, who committed to play for the Washington Huskies. And at Washington, he was a complete bust, never doing anything there. So in 2015, he transferred to Santa Monica College, where he was amazing. And then in 2016, he transferred to play for the Utah Utes. And with the Utah Utes, he was actually a pretty good starting quarterback for them for 2 seasons, but would sadly go unselected in the 2018 NFL Draft. And he never made an NFL roster and is currently playing in the UFL for the Memphis Snowboats. And just cracking the top 5 is Kevin Olsen, coming out of Wayne, New Jersey, who committed to play for Miami. And at Miami, he never played there, so he transferred to Towson in 2014 before transferring to play for Charlotte in 2016. And in his one season with Charlotte, he was solid but never did anything after that. And at number 4 is Cooper Bateman, coming out of Salt Lake City, Utah, who committed to play for Alabama. And in his first 2 seasons with Alabama, he never saw any playing time, and then in his last 2 seasons there, he'd be their backup quarterback. And he transferred to Utah for one more final season, but he never played there, and he's now currently a sales manager in Salt Lake City. And just cracking the top 3 is Shane Morris, coming out of Warren, Michigan, who committed to play for the Michigan Wolverines. And in his first 3 seasons at Michigan, he never really did much, mostly being their backup quarterback, before in 2017 transferring to Central Michigan, where he was solid. After this, though, he was never drafted in the NFL, and his professional football career ended in the Arena Football League in 2019. And coming in at number 2 is Christian Hackenberg, coming out of Fork Union, Virginia, who committed to play for Penn State. And he immediately got to see playing time at Penn State as he'd be their starter for the next 3 seasons and was solid but never amazing. And he would go on to be selected in the second round of the 2016 NFL draft by the Jets, but was a complete bust, never playing a single snap in the league. And he last played professional football in 2019 for the AAF and is currently a high school football coach in New Jersey. And the number 1 college football quarterback recruit was Max Brown, coming out of Washington, who committed to play for USC. And in his 4 seasons with the Trojans, he was a complete bust as he'd be their backup quarterback and never did much of anything. So in 2017, he transferred to play for Pittsburgh. And in his lone season with Pittsburgh, he also basically did nothing and was not good. And he was never signed by a professional football team and is now currently working for the CW Sports Channel.